Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus here again. Each moment, each day that I come to speak to you, I'm more serious than the day before. Serious in regards to the message that I deliver that would hopefully liberate you and deliver you to your freedom. And yet I'm constantly given evidence that that's not happening and not even close to happening. And yet I find myself having to do it every day. And even though I do it and find out that you're in the state that you're in, it actually gives me a bit of relief. Because one while I was angry with you. I was very upset with you for the simple reason that it appeared to me as though you were just acting as if you didn't have any sense. And as the days passed, and I realized that when it comes down to that question, you really don't. And the reason is because all of us have been programmed. However, some of us have been blessed and been given some wisdom. We didn't earn it. We're not better than you. It's just that it was given to us. And with it came responsibility. Responsibilities that you don't have. We know something that you don't, so we have to live it. You are not living it. And so you got an excuse. But I am here, ladies and gentlemen, to ease that excuse away so you can be responsible, because the freedom that you seek really is not in me, but it is in you. Many of you have heard it said that, especially coming from rich people, that people should live within their means. They even say the country lives outside of its means, that it's over in all kinds of debt and stuff like this. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the truth of the matter is really not in debt. There's no such thing as that. That's all a scam. All a scam. Anytime you can print paper or change it around, it's just a scam, a usury thing that takes advantage of people. And it blows my mind. Live within your means. I thought about that one time more than I did others. And I'm thinking, live within your means. So what the heck does that mean? A family. Every family that I know of all had the same means. There was no difference. You got your mother, if you got a stable family, or family based upon design. You got both parents if they haven't expired or anything, and however number of children that you have. Before children, it was just husband and wife. They did what they do, and they were responsible to each other and to everything. Then kids came about, and everything that was required basically of the parents for survival is also required of the kids for survival, and the parents made sure that that was done. And as the kids grew up in the household and they were able to take on certain responsibilities, they took on those certain responsibilities and eliminated it. The pressure that parents have been loving their kids for so long and through and taught them. Now they're doing a whole heck of the stuff, and there's not such a stress because it's all across the board. People are participating. And what are the rewards? They're all the same. What do people mean, live within your means? Well, see, in order to take advantage of people, you have to kind of break down the family. And so when you start talking about living outside of your means and all in debt, that's because you have destroyed basically the family. You see, what we fail to recognize, and I say that because we're experiencing the results of people who don't know, people who don't recognize, people who don't respect. They have crime, they got violence, they got terrorism, they got war, they got all kinds of things that's going on. And when you try to give them some pointers that would kind of bring them some insights so possibly they can deal with these situations, they do not accept it, meaning what? That these things are by design. And so when I'm basically saying to the people of America, the 99% of you, and I say that because apparently you have identified yourselves as people who are saying, I wish I could do this or I wish I could do that. Why? Because these are some things that or 1% or whatever that group is apparently is able to do, and you can't, whatever that is. So you got a limit, you got restrictions, and you want to be relieved of these restrictions, and you don't know how to be relieved of these restrictions because basically what you have is the education that you have been given here while on this plane at this time. And that education that you've been given has been designed to do and allow what's happening to happen. And yet people have come in slow, some are smarter, and some people try to help out while other people try to take away. And at the same time, people are doing the best they can. But if the best you can do is all you can do, then that's all you can do. What happens at a point like that? At a point like that, it becomes the responsibility of the true father. It becomes the responsibility of the true parent. See, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm trying to say to you is this. All humans, we are siblings. And everything negative that we think about each other, everything negative that we think about each other has been taught to us. The negative responses that we see amongst one another are the result of the teachings that we have been given. And these teachings have been given for the purpose that it creates. It doesn't stop right there. You got all kinds of things that continues after that. Some you got jail, some you got prison, some you got destruction and family. You got all kinds of things that break down. So ladies and gentlemen, one thing that I want you to know, that when I come to you, I'm not coming to you bragging about a black man being the first man, being God's chosen people. I'm not talking to you about that. I'm not trying to even lift up the white man as being God's special folks. I'm telling you that a power that we can't see, can't touch, can't feel is responsible for our existence here. We look on the earth, and when we see babies born, we say these are the parents, the mother and the father, because they did this. So these are the parents. But the parents that you see did not just pop up. They came up from a design. They came up from a plan that was instituted by someone, something, a power. And here we are. Now, because we exist, we can assimilate this with that and say, being here, we have parents. Human beings got parents. Human beings have parents. And that parent is more loving, more caring for all of us because it has not had the influences. It will not accept the influences of being other than that. And so that power loves all of us and has prepared, regardless of what we do to one another, that every last one of us can never turn our hands and say we had no food because our Father denied the earth to produce. No, my friends, sure, there are places that food will not produce because perhaps it's not supposed to be produced. Or maybe it produced at a time when now another time nature says someplace else. But the only backward ones that's causing a continuation of these problems to flow because they have an absence, the intelligence, the spirit of love that would guide them through these difficult times, are we. Those who have separated ourselves from one another, separated ourselves from siblings because of an indoctrination. And we stand on the indoctrination as being the gospel. We stand on the dollar bill as being the gospel as though it came from heaven, as an excuse. And here we are in all of this, gone full circle. You've heard me say that this is hell, but we don't believe it. Why? Because we were indoctrinated to think that in hell, people are going through all kinds of turmoils. And they do here. That they're scratching and snatching the teeth, whatever that word is. Forever and ever. Torment, torment, torment. And so, when you're perceiving that, when you're perceiving beasts, horns out of people's heads, people ripping and running and trying to hide and can't get away, when you envision that, and you look around you, you don't see that. So you think you're not in hell, though everything you just heard me say happening there is happening here. The flood that was over there yesterday will be over here tomorrow, or return back if it didn't finish its work. And we think that we are not in hell. Why do we continue to believe that? Because we don't know what we can have. We have no idea that the world was designed for us to live as though we were in heaven someplace else. We talk about, dream about going. We can have it right here. All we have to do is recognize that we are brothers and sisters, put here by our parents, to play a role in the creative process. Why? To expand our minds, to do, and in the process, all that we could ever need. This earth where we're at, whether it's in the earth, on the earth, above the earth, seen or unseen, can produce whatever our minds say reach out and get. Our Father says that we can have this, we can have the peace. How many of you today are standing for peace, not just for we Americans, but peace for all over the world? How many of us are saying we will have it no other way? How many of us will tell our president to shut up talking that bad talk? How many of us will tell the United Nations to stop talking bad talk? How many of us will tell the world to stop talking that bad talk because we're fed up with it? We're tired of killing. We're tired of dying. We're tired of lying and cheating and stealing. We want to live. We want to be free. And in order to do that, we got to recognize this stuff don't belong to us. Nothing belongs to us. What can you will to your generations to come that's more than the Father has given? You don't need a vault built of steel when you can hide it in invisibility. Put it in the earth, in your brain, in your mind. Hey, my friends, you can't beat that. And you can put it out when time comes for it. You don't have to worry about someone stealing it. They're waiting for you to bring it forth because what they are holding can't go forward without what you got. And the whole nation of humanity can only benefit when we see each other as that mother and father and sister and brother and whatever else you got in that house is a representation of how we as human beings are supposed to live upon the earth. I am glad to be able to tell you this today, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, I think I've always known this, but for the past 30 or 40 years, it's been clear as daylight, but never as clear as it is right now. I see you extended family. It's very hard to learn. We talk about rich people running the country. You got one. Is the nation satisfied? And right now they start idolizing a guy who owned the Dallas Maverick basketball team. I can't think of his name. Trying to coerce him to consider running for president. Maybe he can do it. Yeah, no! Brothers and sisters, I'm just going to tell you like it is. Y'all out of y'all damn mind. Y'all sure don't want to believe in God, do you? You see, all this unseen, can't touch it, can't feel it power that I talk about. I put a name on it. I put the name God on it, and I was kind of influenced by the same thing you've been influenced by. And I accept that. The fact that the greatest power that I can even imagine to exist, and to label it God, they label me Eddie, so I can accept that as God. And I don't just have what some people might call the portrait, the picture on the wall. Because when you look at it like that, even the picture is restricted because it's on the wall. But when it's outward, infinite, I mean, you can see a lot of stuff. And there's nothing. Let me just tell you this, ladies and gentlemen. I know you're tired of me, and I'm going to get off and let you go. But I want to tell you this. Brothers and sisters, for those of you who God has shown God's power to you directly, you know what people don't know. You know that man could never do the kinds of things that God has shown you. And so, for me, so I'm thinking you too, our faith is in God, that power, not man. We know man has the ability when working together to do the work of God, because that's how God does the work. But when men deny God, and the evidence is in their social status, and there's no such thing as, well, some of us are good, some of us are bad. No, there's a way to separate yourself from that. You advocate for decency. You stand up for decency. And if decency fails to reveal itself, you don't just get in line and say, well, it's not my fault, I'm just going to wait. No, ladies and gentlemen, you get yourself out of there. You don't stay there. You know how we telling those guys in Congress how some are so pissed off with certain activities, and then you find people who used to talk about certain things, now you see them falling all in line like punks. Well, that's the way you look in a society that's dying. And you say, by going to church, praying, and hoping, and the world is getting worse as you keep praying and hoping, something should tell you that you're doing the wrong things. You're doing the wrong things. And I'm not saying anything is wrong with going to church. I'm saying that if the spirit that is able to do all this is in you, and look at something that's destructive, that destruction has got to go. Now, how does it go? It goes by you recognizing an alternative to that. You start advocating for that alternative and showing how that alternative is so much better than what is. And the evidence to support what you are saying, the value of it, is that you disregard what is and stand up. So that's going to bring on a major confrontation. What is going to challenge you. But the challenge is not you. The challenge is what you represent. And this is what you have been looking for, the opportunity to speak and give voice to that destructive measure that you see it as now, so you can show the light of day. Now, there will be many instances where they will still resist you, throw your buddy in jail and in prison. But if you can be real and do it because you, not that you just testing some stuff. I mean, it's okay to test, but it's easier when it's just you, when it's real. And if you go to jail and prison, you're not in jail, you're not in prison, and don't let them put you in solitary confinement. That's probably one of the best places you can be while in prison. Why? Because of what you represent. You have gone to the max. The only thing greater than all of that is to be killed. But other than that, when you stand for the max of what your Father, what God is all about, they can't hurt you. I mean, I know you do not understand what I'm telling you. But I'm not telling you something that I read, even though I have. I'm not just telling you something that I heard, even though I heard it. But ladies and gentlemen, sisters and brothers, I'm telling you what I've experienced. I've been to prison. I've been to jails. I've been thrown out in the streets by police and having to spend the nights out. I've been through POD, what you would call hell, and call me foolish for doing. And in the midst of it, golly, as Homer would say, in the midst of it, is the greatest. Whoo! You think Ali meant something when he said, I'm the greatest? No, 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 no. When they put a chains on a man to God for representing God, I don't care what they say. When they put chains on a man to God for representing God, it's like, to that person, I don't know about the rest of you guys, but to that one, it's like they're already in heaven. That comes from that power that you can't see. The world can't give you that, and the world can't take it away. Now, I'm telling you that because it is absolutely true. And I know many of you think about certain things and you back down because of what people say or what people think. But you have to realize this. These people are in darkness. When I say these people, I'm talking about our sisters and brothers. We were all in darkness. So we're not super outside special. You and I are as much darkness experienced as everybody else that I'm talking about. The only thing that changed is that the real power over all found some occasion, for whatever reason, I don't know, and I'm sure you don't either, to give us a glimpse of truth. And as I always tell everybody, with it comes responsibility. To whom much is given, much is required. What I basically mean, to be honest, is that we give our lives. Our lives now belong to God. Sure, we can mingle with our system the way we got it going on, but our purpose is to show the light. And to show the light means don't accept that bull. Don't accept that bull. The only thing is when every brother, every sister can wake up in the morning time, if they still do that, and feeling refreshed. And when they see other people coming out of their houses or something, they feel neighborly. They wave at each other. You know, you might not be able to yell so far down the street, but you can wave. And when you get in your cars going to do those things that you thank Almighty God for blessing you with, because it's your purpose for living. And now you're going to engage yourself. All of you are, and you're not on the highways pissed off, mad. You're not on the highways dying because the highway roads are slippery with ice. No, you've overcome that. Why? Because you have spent your time loving and not trying to prove that you are a bully and bigger and better than someone else. I hope what I have said here today took some time, but I hope I touched somebody. Now I'm going to go and put this on CD and a little bit later on go and post it on Facebook, you know, that kind of routine, and offer it to all of us, because this is a new day, this is a new time. You are my brother, I am yours. You are my sisters, I am your bride. And I want to thank the Heavenly Father for it all. It ain't the white man, black folks. And it ain't the black man, black folks. It ain't man, man. It ain't woman, woman. It's God. Bye-bye.